Most High Yah. Go to shofar, face Yerushalayim, opening up the evening Shabbat service, the opening of Shabbat. All praises be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for his mercy truly endured forever. Madium Opanya, Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem. Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
By Hashem?
Yahweh
By Hashem?
Yahweh
Barakatha Yahweh?
Barak Yahweh.
By Hashem?
Bahashem.
Hamashiach?
Hamashiach.
Yahweh Shai?
Yahweh Shai.
Ahawa'ah?
Yahweh.
The Dolanawa?
Yahweh.
HaShabbat?
Shabbat.
By Shalom?
Shalom.
The water?
The water.
From Yad?
Yah.
Amen.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the Sabbath day in peace. Thank you, so be it. Amen.
Amen.
La'ai Sharam and Tazawat, the 10 Commandments in the Lashuah Kodash. Repeat the Hebrew. La'ah, Yahaya, Lakah, Alahayim, Acharim, Al-Panya, La'ah, Ta'isha, Lakah, Pasal, Wala'ah, Taibadam, La'ah, Talakwakwath, Shawah, Yahweh, Aleka, Lashua, Sakar, Hayawam, Hashabbath, Lakodashwa, Kabah, Abaka, Wa'amaka, La'ah, Taratizak, La'ah, Tora'ah, La'ah, Taganah, La'ah, Ta'ino, Shakor, La'ah, Ta'hamad, Kol, Asherah, Lara'aika, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Amen.
10 Commandments in English, Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And the Most High spake all his words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other powers before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain. For the Most High will not hold it guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Shema Mashiach Yahushua, the water of God. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You shall be seated. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, Sabbath in peace. Everyone here and everyone online. You know, got a lot of latecomers, so hopefully they start rolling in. But we're gonna get started on time. 8:31 is class time. It's time to get the Most High his time. Let's get some more smoke going here. There's not enough smoke here. Gotta get some smoke. I get that frankincense and myrrh popping. It's the Shabbat. It's the Sabbath. All praises be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for his mercy truly endure forever. Truly a blessing to be here at this time and this place, with the children of Israel, celebrating our Shabbat, the day that was given unto us from our Father that's in heaven, a day that we to come together as a holy convocation, beseeching the Most High wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, being guided in His word and His word only, giving no ear, giving no eyes, giving no anything to these false prophets or these idols, these religions, these devils in this time period, and wish to have our mind, soul, and spirit wrapped up in foolishness, while the Most High Yah is giving us all this good meat to eat. So we're going to get these scriptures. Like I said, I put it out there in the text. Tonight's topic is trick or treat. You be the judge. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to break down this nonsense that our people getting wrapped up in year after year. You're going to start seeing the missing person reports and the dead bodies, and people are going to want to know why. Because they get involved with this Halloween satanic worship. And they do it year by year. And they say it's for the children. And they want to dress up as Power Rangers and Teletubbies. You know what I mean? Or whatever the hell they dress up in nowadays. And they say, well, we're not dressing up like devils, so maybe we're okay. Right? They try to wash this evil thing. Right? But once the Most High deems something wicked or an abomination, you can't make it anything else. You can't change that. Once something is wicked or abomination, you can't sprinkle something on top of it and make it better. All right? They can't. They try to choose the good, the best of two evils. You don't got to choose no evils. And the scriptures is very plain and it's very direct on that. So we're going to get these scriptures. So give me Colossians 3, verse 17. Let's open up.
The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. But whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahweh, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him.
Right, giving all thanks to the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahweh. All right, let's what I have here. I have put it on the screen for a moment there. I have the history of Halloween. Okay, for anybody that thinks that this, where doesn't know where this came from or the origins of this pagan day, we're gonna read about it. All right, we're gonna read about it. I'm not gonna read too much of it, but what I want you to read is this first paragraph here, this section here that ends right here. So I'm going to put that right. I'm going to end it right here.
This part here? This.
Right, up until this point right here.
Okay.
All right. History of Halloween. Halloween is an annual holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. That has roots in age-old European traditions.
In what traditions?
European traditions.
In age-old European traditions. Now, should we follow European traditions? Because we're not Europeans. Okay. When it says European, the biblical word for this is Esau, the Edomites. Okay. When it's referring to European, he's talking about the so-called Caucasian race. He's talking about Esau. The biblical name for them is Esau and Edom. All right. They later took on the name Europeans, later on. But at first they were Esau and Edom. Okay, read on.
It originated with the ancient Celtic festival
Right.
of Samhain.
Sam what?
Samhain.
The ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. This is when this began. What are we talking about? We're talking about Halloween. Where did it come from? Should we, as God-fearing people, as people that call themselves children of the Most High, should we involve ourselves at all in these festivals? Okay. Sometimes we got to prove things. You know, we can say things, but, you know, our people need proof, right? All right, what's that? Oh, yeah, learn not to wait again.
Yeah.
We're going to get there. Matter of fact, let's get a scripture. Finish that paragraph, then we'll get a couple scriptures. Yeah.
It originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts.
To do what? People would light bonfires and wear costumes to do what?
To ward off ghosts.
To ward off ghosts. So they straight dealing with witchcraft. The root of Halloween is straight dealing with witchcraft. The whole masquerade costume thing was something they wore to ward off the ghosts that they didn't want there and keep the ones they wanted. All right? Read on.
In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor All Saints. Soon, All Saints Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. The evening before was known as All Hallows Eve and later Halloween.
Right.
Over time, Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating and carving jack-o'-lanterns. Around the world, as days grow shorter and nights get colder, people continue to usher in the season with gatherings, costumes, and sweet treats. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of in the area that is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Northern France celebrated their new year on November 1st.
Right, they celebrated the new year right after this All Saints Day. Now, the saints that they are referring to are not the saints according to the scriptures. Because who are the saints according to the scriptures? The children of Israel are the saints according to the scriptures. Let's get a scripture that proves that. Let's get Psalms 149. Matter of fact, give me 148 and 14. Let's get right to the point. 148 and 14.
The book of Psalm, chapter 148 and verse 14.
Right.
He also exalted the horn of his people.
Right.
The praise of all his saints.
Right.
Even of the children of Israel.
The children of who?
Children of Israel.
Right. So these are his saints, the children of Israel. Even the children of Israel. Read on.
A people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High.
People near unto his saints are a people. And those people are the Israelites. Jump down to the 149th Psalm and read the second verse.
Psalms 149 and verse 2.
Right.
Let Israel rejoice in him that made him.
Right, read.
Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king.
Come on.
Let them praise his name in the dance.
Right, come on.
Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp.
Come on.
The Most High taketh pleasure in his people.
Uh-huh.
He will beautify the meek with salvation.
Come on.
Let the saints be joyful.
Let the who?
Let the saints be joyful.
So who are the saints? The children of the Most High that joy and praise the Most High. Those are the saints. All right? The children of Israel that serve Yahweh. You're the saints. So when they talk about All Saints Day, they're not worshiping you. They don't count you as saint. They're talking about their demonic saints. Okay, they're talking about saints that they made up. False gods, idols is what they're dealing with. Okay, we're not to deal with idols. Okay, give me 1 Corinthians 12 and 2. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 2.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 2.
Come on.
Ye know that ye were Gentiles,
Right?
carried away unto these dumb idols.
Unto these dumb idols. So this is where we coming from. We were Gentiles. We were just like the other nations. Having Halloween, happy Halloween, and Thanksgiving, and Christmas. We were just like the Gentiles. Carried away to those dumb idols, like Halloween. Okay. These false festivals that's based on idols and not the Most High God. Okay. You cannot inject the Most High God, the power of Aaron, Isaac, and Jacob, into Halloween. It makes no sense. It's two separate things. You have to turn from those festivals in order to serve Yah. Okay. You can't do both. A lot of people think, oh, I'm faithful, I believe in the Bible, but you at the masquerade party. What Bible do you believe in? Because you're not reading it. Because according to this scripture, we got to move away from those things to serve Yah. All right, let's prove that. Give me Acts 15. Acts 15 and 20.
The book of Acts, chapter 15 and verse 20.
Right.
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols.
They abstain. What does it mean to abstain? Stay away from it. Don't deal with it. That's what it means to abstain. That we should abstain from the pollution of idols. So these idols, what? They pollute you. Okay. They pollute your mind, your spirit. They got you, giving your time over to foolishness and wickedness. We don't give ourselves over to idols, any false thing, but the true and living power. Read on.
And from fornication, and from things strangled,
right,
and from blood.
Right. From blood, from fornication, from things strangled. Let's look at that real slowly. Right. Let's look at that list right there. Tell me this ain't a list of Halloween right here. All right. Let's see that. Read that again.
The book of Acts, chapter 14, verse 20.
15, 20, right? Yeah. 15, 20.
Oh, 15, 20 is love.
Yeah. Read.
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
So now, what pollution of idols? This is believing in other gods, following after these false saints and things of that sort. Fornication. What is fornication?
Any sexual act.
Any sexual act? Okay. Any unlawful sexual act. Any sexual act that's bringing you into is as a sinful sexual act, like whorism or whoremongering or homosexuality or pornography and all these things. These are all fornication. Even when you go to these masquerades, and oftentimes they cover their face, and that's about it. They cover, right? And they're dealing with a lust spirit, right? It's all based upon a lust. You heard about Mardi Gras and about these carnivals. It's a lust spirit that they're trying to put out there. That is a spirit of fornication. When you're trying to have, when a woman is trying to have multiple men lust after them, that's a spirit of fornication. Or when a man is looking around at all the women and just lusting, just wanting all these women, that's the spirit of fornication. Okay, when they get this is a Roman spirit of where they get orgies from and things of that sort. It comes from this spirit. It's a wicked spirit to want to be intimate with droves of women or men or vice versa, or have this outlandish outward sexual activity. right? Outwardly. All right, those things are what? It's privately, it's inwardly. You know what I mean? With the Most High, they go into the bedchamber with the Most High. You know what I'm talking about? They don't do it out in the street, right? But now what they dance like if they're imitating the sexual acts, okay? That comes from that same evil spirit. If you dancing like you having sex, then that type of dancing you ain't supposed to be doing. Everybody understand that? All right. So that comes from these fornication spirit. Read on.
And from things strangled,
right?
And from blood.
So now things strangled and from blood. So what do you see on Halloween? Right? You see what? Imitation of what? Like horror movies, death, somebody strangled, they tongue hanging out. You see all these images of killing and death. All right? It comes up around this time, during Halloween time. Okay? That is against the laws of the Heavenly Father. We're not supposed to be entangled with that. Now, I'm not saying be overly sensitive or overly over righteous that you can't watch a movie. I'm not going to go that far. But what I'm saying is you definitely should not be having skull and crossbones on your shirt. Right? You know, I saw somebody with a jigsaw shirt on at work earlier today. I'm like, or blood dripping from a knife, and people got things hanging out their trunk. As they drive around, you see an arm hanging out the trunk with blood dripping. Right? That's not the Most High. That's wickedness, man. You're glorifying death. But you're going to read, as we go back to the history, this is what Halloween was about. Glorifying death. Okay? But things strangled and what? Blood, right? Right? Blood. Read on.
Verse 21. For Moses of old time have in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Every what day?
Every Sabbath day.
Right. So these things we constantly, every Sabbath day, we got to be reminded. We got to be reminded how not to be worldly, how not to be wicked, but how to be righteous and how to walk this walk. Not just talk about being Hebrews or being Israel, but then you see how you move and what you do and what you don't do. Okay. Give me Jeremiah 10:1. And then we'll get back to that history again.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right.
For the heathens are dismayed at them.
Right. So what, they worship the full moon? That's a sign in heaven when the moon is full. They want to say you turn to a werewolf, they howling at the moon, all kind of madness. Okay. That's wickedness. Okay. Now you're dealing with Halloween, now you're dealing with the customs. He said, learn not their customs, don't learn their way. Don't follow their path. Okay. So our people getting wrapped up in Halloween, not even knowing how wicked this really is. I don't think they even understand that they're in the midst of witchcraft when they put those costumes on and they walk around and they have their little children saying you're just gonna get candy, right? You know that candy is what Satan offers you, right? Because Satan don't just have you do wickedness without a treat, right? He gonna say you're gonna do wickedness, you're gonna get something out of it, right? But what you get out of it is temporary. And what you get out of it, you're going to realize in the long run, it's not good for you. Just like all this candy that they be giving away. Since at what time was candy good for children? Right? A good thing for them to gorge themselves on candy. Right? It's never a good thing. But on Halloween, they be having bags and droves. They eat till they pass out. I know this. I used to do it as a child. Right? You go around the block 2-3 times, you fill up. And you there eating candy, you rappers, all they see is rappers the next day. You there passed out somewhere, feeling sick. Right? I know, I was there. I mean, wasn't born in this truth. Remember, we at certain time were just like the Gentiles. We had to repent from that life and come to the life of this truth. Okay? So this is not good. There's no good in this. All right? There's no good in this. And you can't call something that's not good, good. Even doing that is sin to the Most High. Right? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Give me Isaiah. I think it's the 5th chapter. Let's see.
Yeah, 5:20.
5:20, right?
Yeah.
All right, come.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 5 and verse 20.
Read that.
Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Right. Who call evil good and good? He said, woe. What does woe mean in the scripture? Destruction. How you gonna call good evil and evil good? We stand up against Halloween. They say we bad. We haters. We party poopers. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all always mad. Right? Meanwhile, you're gonna go out there and do this wickedness. Every year, people getting hurt, people getting poisoned, people, all kind of stuff happen on Halloween weekend. All kind of stuff go down. Okay? Every year. But then every year they come back and do it again. Right? Who's in that movie, The Purge? Right? In that movie, The Purge, they all what? Put on what? Masks. Right? To go do their what? Wickedness. They evil. They don't, you don't uncover your mask. We about to go, like they say, the ski mask. You put that ski mask on, you going what? You gonna get that jerks. You about to go get, like they say down there, you hit a lick. Right? You better go hit a lick, you're gonna put that ski mask on. You ain't gonna have your face all out there for the camera. But what you doing is some wickedness, and you know you about to do some wickedness. That's why you covering your face. How is that any different than Halloween? How is it any different than your masquerade party? You put that mask on and everything goes. Because you think nobody see me. They don't even know who I am. I can be as wicked as I want to be. Right? Yeah. You can't see me. But I put a little mask on my eye. Okay? That is the spirit of wickedness and rebellion. We as Hebrews, we don't get down with that. As people that follow the Most High, love the Heavenly Father, we can't get involved in that. That's an abomination. Let's go back to the history. Pick it up where you left off right there.
This day,
In addition, right? Oh, you were still up there.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
all right. This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year that was often associated with human death.
With what?
Human death.
So now they are celebrating the association with human death. This is the origin of Halloween. Okay? It's a demonic origin. Praising the dead. Read.
Celts believe that on the night before the year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred.
You really dealing with some high-level witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
So they saying that the living and the dead start to mesh on Halloween night. The boundaries that cut off the dead from the living, so you're supposed to see the dead walking around. This is what they thinking, man. This is what you're involved in when you go to the Halloween party. When they say, just come over, I'm having a party. When I'm a Hebrew, I'll go out, but don't wear a mask, just come over. Right? You don't gotta wear a mask. Just come to the house, have some food. They coming to your house, having nothing.
Get some candy.
It's for the children. Right? The scripture said we ain't supposed to go nowhere near these things. We don't get all them scriptures. Right? You're supposed to turn away from these things. All right, read on.
On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain.
Samhain, right? An idol.
Mm-hmm.
So it's idolatry worshiping. All right, read on.
When it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to the earth. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts thought that the presence of the outwardly spirits made it easier for the Druids or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future. For a people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort and direction during the long, dark winter.
Right. So they went to the Druids to get instruction. And this is done on Halloween. This is done during this time of the year. They're waiting for the nights to become nice and long, the darkness. Okay, they don't want the light, they want to do their stuff in the darkness. Okay, this is all signs here that we know this ain't for us, man. This ain't for no one that's trying to serve the Most High Yah. All right. These Druids and these priests, they're dealing with witchcraft, familiar spirits, as the Bible calls it. And what does the Most High say about let's get out Leviticus 19:31. Let's get the law on these witches and warlocks. Okay.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits.
Regard not them that have familiar spirits. Man. Don't give them no regard. All right? Don't say it's okay. No, it's not okay. Right? Don't come to my house. Listen, I always put like a jack-o'-lantern with a big red circle and a line through it in front of my house. Every Halloween, I stick it on the glass. So they walk up to the house, they already know it ain't going down over here. Don't even play yourself. All right, no Halloween here. Okay, we gotta protest against it. Because the children being led astray, that's the one that get it the worst, is they sow it in their little children. In the school system, they got them making little jack-o'-lanterns. You know, this time of the year. You know, pumpkin, number one, pumpkin grows mostly in the fall, throughout the whole fall, right? And the pumpkin is a very healthy vegetable, right? Very healthy vegetable, right? To be used, you know, in your diet, not to be cut up and put lights in it. And it's funny how, you know, this foolishness. The people probably never ate pumpkin before, but they sitting here carving it to put a light in it and stick it outside. And don't even know the nutritional value of this pumpkin. All right. The Father, remember, so I don't want nobody to start looking at pumpkins like they off. Pumpkins aren't off. Pumpkins are good for you, right? If you go get pumpkin, they on sale, go get yourself some pumpkin, cook it up, skill it up. If you need a recipe, please got one, I'm sure, right? Skill it up, enjoy your pumpkin over some rice, all right? Skip the meat that night, right? But it's definitely not for decorations, okay? If you even get a, you know, oh, well, I'm not, now what they try to do is, you're not celebrating Halloween. You're celebrating autumn.
Oh, yeah.
The festive autumn. And you bring the pumpkins, don't draw no face in it, but just pile them up in your garden in front of your house. They just trying to sneak it in, man. They trying to sneak it in. This is not Halloween, this is an autumn party or something to that effect. But when we read it with the Celtic history, they celebrated the fact that the nights were longer. And for them, that was a new year for them. For them, that was a good thing because it symbolized death. So they are actually celebrating the autumn. They're celebrating the fall. You everybody understand that? So they're not just celebrating the Halloween day, they're celebrating what happens in the fall season. Right? Not just death, but the night being elongated. The darkness. That's what they're celebrating. They don't like the light. Right? That's where they get that with vampires, if you don't know. They get that from Esau. Because Esau, he can't deal with the sun. So he wants to dwell in the nighttime when it's dark and gloomy. Right? So that's how that whole vampire thing, you're not supposed to go out in the light and all that kind of madness. It comes from Esau, not wanting to be in the sunlight. We eat the sun. I know I lunch on the sun. I love the sun. The sun ain't out, I ain't happy. That sun is out. It makes me feel good, right? Good?
I just have to read this real quick.
Yeah.
I guess that's why
why they made the day walker? Because the black dude is day walker. He can do it in the daytime.
You see that? I didn't know about all that. I didn't go too much in the series. Maybe tell all yourself a little bit, but I don't know what's going on in the series. I've heard of day walkers before, whatever the case that is. But
Black man. Snipes.
that was in Blade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw Blade. I saw Blade.
Yeah.
That's Wesley Snipes. I could do Wesley Snipes. All right, so yeah, they had some day walkers in that Blade, that last Blade. But other than that, right, this is the origin. This is where it's coming from. This is, people are actually dependent. The scriptures we just read in the history, they were dependent on these Druid priests at this time of the year. So Esau has passed his customs on to our people, and we call it ours. We take it on. But that's not our custom. That's not what we should be dealing with. Finish that chapter right there. Then we'll get some more scriptures.
All right. You want to get into this?
Yeah, read that chapter right there.
Oh, okay.
To commemorate the event,
Mm-hmm.
Druids built huge sacred bonfires
Uh-huh.
where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deity.
So what? They was burning animals to the Celtic deity. They were sending up sacrifices. Give me 1 Corinthians 10, verse 20. Let's get 1 Corinthians 10, verse 20. These devils, man, when you go into the history of Halloween, man, this thing is morbid.
The book
Read that.
of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice,
Right?
they sacrifice to devils.
To who?
To devils.
To their Celtic gods, deities, which are devils. Okay, which are devils. Read on.
And not to the Most High.
And that's not the Most High. So you cannot interject the Heavenly Father into Halloween. If you see a church having Halloween service, that's ridiculous. That's just all kind of wicked, man. I don't even know what to call that. That's total disregard to the Heavenly Father. And they do that. They say it's for the children. But I guess if they could have bunnies laying eggs, they could actually have, Halloween in the church. I guess anything goes at that point. Right? I don't the foolishness.
They got twerking in the church.
Twerking in the church. Twerking to the spirit. Twerking. The spirit had a twerking. I don't know what spirit that is. I know what spirit it is actually. The spirit of Satan. Read on.
And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils.
Have no fellowship with it. I can't make it. I'm not coming. Oh yeah, it's just an autumn party. We don't celebrate Halloween either. Well, what the hell are you celebrating that? You gotta ask a question, man. What the hell? So what the hell are you celebrating that? You celebrating the fall? Because if that's the case, I don't get down with that either. Right? Come see me at Hanukkah. I'll be celebrating. Okay, I'll be cutting it up. Okay, because that's our feast day. That's our holiday. All right, Purim. All right, somebody will get 6 love on the Purim. All right, that's what we do. All right, running blind Boston, something. All right, we're gonna play some games. That's what we do on Purim. Okay, Passover. Now it's time to celebrate. Celebrating our people coming out of captivity. The Most High is smiting our enemies. That's a beautiful thing to celebrate. What are you celebrating in the fall? What? If it's not Halloween? If it's not this Celtic festival of the fall and death and darkness? If you're not celebrating that, then what are you celebrating? So let's not fall for the hype. Let's not fall for the tricks. Then I'm trying to tell you it's an autumn party. It's a seasonal party. They don't call it a Christmas party anymore. They call it the holiday party. Whatever holiday that you happen to deal with now, we're celebrating that. No, you're not. more demonic winter celebrations. All those winter celebrations are surrounded by the winter solstice, something that Esau celebrated, and did the same thing, burnt idols and had all kind of idols to that also. Okay, we got to know the origin of things. All right, so let's read more. No, you didn't finish the Corinthians. You finished 21?
Yeah, 21. Yeah. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, and verse 21. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Most High and the cup of devils.
Right, you can't do both. You got to choose. You want them with the devils or you want them with the Most High? Which one is it? If you're a demon, roll with the demons, that's you, man. You're going to get destroyed with the demons. But if you want to roll with the Most High, you can't be on both sides. Give me 2 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, and the 16th verse. 2 Corinthians 6:16.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse 16.
Come on.
And what agreement have the temple of the Most High with idols?
Right. What agreement has the temple of the Heavenly Father in which you are with idols? How could you be on the same page? How could you enjoy the same air, the same time? How could I be of the Most High Yah and I'm with you, your idol, in the dance? You got to understand that can't happen. The line is drawn. If you're in the dance with the idols, you part of the idols. Only in your own head are you with the Most High. The Most High looking at you like you going off. Okay, that's what you do. We got to be straightforward. We got to be blunt. We got to be to the point. The Most High is not playing with us in these last days. Why? Because our salvation is there and we believe. So he turning up. As he see him turn up in the earth, we got to turn up in ourselves. Okay, we got to turn up in ourselves. You see the wickedness on the rise, and you see more war and rumors of war. Everything the scriptures told us to look out for coming to pass. Nation rise against nation is all happening. That's all signs for you to get underneath yourself and say, I better be right. I better not play around with the Most High right now. Okay, because he's handing out judgment. That's what I said in the text. You be the judge. You got to judge all matters. You got to make that decision. We can go over the scriptures, but we ain't going to follow you, make the decision for you. You got to make that decision when you go out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, they might say, well, your grandma's in town and she ain't got too many more time to be in town. She's up there in age. And you know she love her Halloween. Listen, girl, I'll see you later, man. Hope you make it, man. All right? I'm going to see you after. That's why the Mashiach said, who's my brother, my sister? Yeah. But those that follow after my God. That's your family. All right? This is your family. Because we are like-minded. We are all trying to do the same thing, which is please Yahweh our God. All right? That's all we all trying to do. Once we please him, who cares how anybody else feel about you? You pleasing the Most High, the creator of heaven and earth. If somebody don't like you, so what? All right? So what? Right? You got to look at things and put them in the right perspective. Okay? Read on.
For ye are the temple of the living power.
Oh, the Satan worshiping children? Yeah. We'll get there.
As the Most High have said, I will dwell in them, right, and walk in them.
So who did he say he was going to dwell in and walk in? Who said he was going to be around? Give me Joel. That's right. Joel 2:27. He said, I'm going to dwell in them. I'm going to walk with them. Who did he say? That was 2 Corinthians 6:16.
The book of Joel, chapter 2, and verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
And read on.
And that I am the Most High your power,
all right,
and none else.
And who else?
And none else.
And nobody else. This is why the heathens have to call Druid priests and all these seances and burning animals and crops to false gods and deities because they have no power. Yahweh said he's in the midst of thee and none else. He is with Israel and nobody else. That's clear in the scripture. You don't have to wonder if he's with the other nations because the Bible is crystal clear. The Father is dealing with his children and nobody else. He said, the Mashiach said it the best, thine or mine and mine or thine. Meaning that I will dwell with them. I think, give me that. Because he said it poetically. That's John 15 chapter. St. John. It's like it's 17 chapter verse 9. 17 verse 9. Right? St. John 17 verse 9. Start with the 9th verse.
The book of St. John, chapter 17 and verse 9.
Right?
I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
Right. The Most High said, the Mashiach Yahweh said he prays for them. He don't pray for the world. Who's the them? The children of Israel. Who just said he's in the midst of. Right? We don't.
But for them which thou hast given me,
right?
For they are thine.
They are thine, which they belong to you, Yahweh. Read on.
And all mine are thine.
And all the ones I came for, the ones that you sent me to. All mine are thine. So Christ ain't come for some other people. He came from the people of the Most High. He came for the same people. Everybody see that? Read on.
And I am glorified in them.
And I'm glorified in them. Right? Come on, read.
And all mine are thine, and thine are mine.
Right?
So like it. And I am glorified in them.
Right?
And now I am no more in the world.
Right?
But these are in the world.
Read on.
And I come to thee.
So he praying to the Most High. Read on what he gonna say. Read.
Holy Father. Keep through thine own name.
He said, keep them through thy own name. Read on.
Those whom thou hast given me.
Those that thou hast given me. Come on.
That they may be one as we are.
Right. So what? The Messiah is praying to the Most High that, yeah, I'm leaving, but keep those that were with you from the beginning. Keep those souls. Keep them safe. Keep them away from all this madness and wickedness. Okay. That's what the Father is, that's what the Messiah is praying to the Most High. So that's why we have to constantly go over it, make sure that we are making that separation. That the thine that are mine, right? Those that belong to the Messiah, that belong to the Most High, separate from this world and the wickedness of this world. We got to separate, right? We can't find no excuse. We can't blend it, okay? The blend, the Most High ain't going for the blending in. All right. Give me 1 John 5 and 20. 1 John, let me see. Is that right? Is it right? Nah, it's not. Give me that. Give me 1 Thessalonians 1 and 9. 1 Thessalonians 1 verse 9.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 1 and verse 9. For they themselves show of us what manner of entering in we had unto you, and how ye turned to the Most High from idols,
right,
to serve the living and true power.
And that's what we all did, man. Because we all, when we was out there in this world, we was serving idols. But you got to turn from them idols to serve the Most High. You can't serve both. So there's no way you could be involved in no Halloween and be serving the Most High God. All right? The righteous are known for their righteous works. You can't be righteous with wicked works. You are what your works are. If you're wicked, if you're doing wickedness, then you're the wicked. You know what I mean? Take your identity, and that's what it is. All right. But if you want to be righteous, you got to put wickedness away. Okay. You can't be righteous doing wickedness. What you got?
Oh, I got the book of First Peter, chapter 3 and verse 12.
Okay.
For the eyes of the Most High are over the righteous,
Right.
and his ears are open unto their prayers.
Come on.
But the face of the Most High is against them that do evil.
Right. Right. The face of the Most High is against those that intertwine themselves with evil, man. And that's this whole thing is dealing with idols and idol worship. This whole Halloween celebration. Read.
You said Peter's what?
So,
3 and 12. Yeah.
Ephesians 3 and 12. All right. Let's touch back on the history. Back to the history.
Okay.
All right.
To commemorate the event, Druids built huge sacred bonfires
Right.
where the people gathered to burn crops
Right.
and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities.
Uh-huh.
During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins.
So where do you think they get these costumes from? They wore costumes with animal heads and the skins, and they burned fires onto these demons. This is where Halloween come from. Okay? So when you put that mask on, all right, yeah, you might be Michael Myers or you might be Power Ranger. I don't know what you're going to be, right? You are getting this custom from the Celtics. Okay? They're the originators of this custom. The Druid priests that praise these demonic spirits and worship the dead and the cold and the night being elongated. Okay, this is their history. Okay, so we can't change that. We can't say, well, we're gonna make Halloween good now. We're gonna praise God on Halloween or something like that. Most I said, I never asked you to make it good. He asked us to abstain from it, to stay away from it. That's all he told us. Separate yourself. He never told you try to make the evil good. You can't make evil good. Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 13. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 13. You can't change what it is. When the Most High make it wicked, that's what it is.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 13. Consider the work of the Most High. For who can make that straight which he has made crooked?
Who can do it? Can you pray over it or something? All right? Is that going to make it straight that what he made crooked? He made it crooked. He made wickedness. Give me that. Give me Isaiah. It's 42, 7, 45 and 7. He made the very wickedness. Yeah, 45 and 7.
Yeah.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 7.
Right?
I form the light.
Right?
And create darkness.
Come on.
I make peace. And create evil.
Read.
I, the Most High, do all these things.
I, the Most High, do all these things. He create the evil. So how you going to correct the evil? How you going to change evil to good? You can't do that. Evil will always be evil. Sin will always be sin. That doesn't change. Righteousness will always be righteousness. That does not change. What changes is what you're dealing with. Either you're going to deal with the wicked or you're going to deal with the righteous. It's up to you. That decision is in your hand. All right? The Father's calling you to do righteousness, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. Okay? So evidently, the Father is coming at you to do righteous. The book is open. The scripture's coming out. The word is what cleanses us. So we are all being cleansed by the word right now. Right? We all getting that baptism. This is the true baptism. The word of the Most High. Okay? Many of you have been dunked in water, came out just as wicked as y'all went in. Right? But if you get this cleansing and you take these words and you rebuke and denounce Halloween and everything that has anything to deal with Halloween, and you do it for righteousness. All right? You got to denounce it, though. You got to show yourself at variance against the evils of this world. You can't be neutral. Ain't no Sweden with the Most High. I'm on both sides. I'm on the fence. Scripture say you either deal with the cup of devils or the cup of the Most High. Which one?
Yeah, I just want to touch back on what you were talking about when they were trying to say in the church they're trying to make Halloween good.
Right.
On Facebook, I got my cousin in Chicago. She posted up this flyer. It's called Halloween. So it was supposed to be Hallelujah night.
You see, you can't make this stuff up, huh? Halloween, Hallelujah night. What are you celebrating? Why are you celebrating Halloween or Hallelujah night, right? In the autumn.
And then they say, are you following Jesus?
Are you following Jesus? You can't make that stuff up. Can I get that flyer? I need that flyer, brother. I need a copy of that. That is nonsense. We might have to bring matches out to the camp on that one. That damn thing on fire. Stomp it out. Because we got to cast these things down, man. We got to cast it. If we don't cast it, who's going to cast it down? Everybody stay quiet. And let the weak fall to these tricks and these stumbling blocks. Because that's what they are. They become stumbling blocks. Because now somebody that's still sold into that, somebody that still has a heart, they might have some sort of tradition in their family that they do every Halloween, and now they're not being a part. It's sown in their heart. Okay? Who's going to help that person get over that? All right? If nobody says anything, and they sit quiet.
Yeah, I put on the flight. We need to talk about this.
All right? We got to talk about it. I think it was wicked as hell. Their church is off. Your church is off with that nonsense, right? Give me Isaiah 8:19. Isaiah 8:19.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8, and verse 19. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits.
Do what?
Seek unto them that have familiar spirits.
What are familiar spirits? What is that? Huh? Like-minded? Nope. Hold that and give me Leviticus. Matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 18:11. You get it, Paul. Scriptures in the street. 18:11 Deuteronomy.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 11. Or a charmer.
Oh, start with
10.
10, yeah.
Verse 10. There shall not be found among you.
There shall not be found amongst you. I mean, this thing shouldn't be. Okay, read on.
Anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination.
Do you know what it means to pass through the fire? That's a custom of the Babylonians. They used to have their children throw them through the fire. And if they make it through, okay, they're good. And if they don't, okay, they're not good. Because they ain't make it. So passing through the fire was a custom of the heathens, a rite of passage. That's their custom. That's a heathen custom. The Heavenly Father never told us to do that. So he says none of us should be following those wicked customs. Read on.
Or an observer of times.
An observer of times. All right, this is somebody that's dealing with, no, this is like more like astronomy.
Yeah.
That's looking at the stars and reading and telling you this and that. Horoscope, right? Just look at the word horoscope. It's telling you that we shouldn't be dealing with that. Okay? What's in a horror movie? What's the main thing that happens in a horror movie? Death. Or else it wouldn't be a very good horror movie. Nobody dies, right? That would be a whack horror movie and nobody gets killed, right? So horoscope is something, and what does the word scope mean? It means to see, to look, to focus on. So you're focusing on death when you deal with a horoscope. That's what you're focusing on. You ain't talking about life, you're talking about death. All right? It's telling you what it's about in the name. But sometimes you got to read a book from the cover. All right? People say don't judge a book by the cover. I don't know how else to judge a book, but what's on the cover? I mean, how would you know what type of book it is? All right? Would you pick up a book with cake on it, looking how to fix a car? Right? That's silly. You judge a book by the cover, because the cover should tell you what the book is about. All right? What we're reading now, the Bible. What does Bible stand for? Basic instructions before leaving earth. This is the earthly instructions you need to survive on this earth, in this time, in all times on the earth. Okay? And there's no time period on the earth where the Bible wasn't the cure of the cancer, the cure of the problem. It always was the cure of the problem. We tried to sort other ways to cure the problem. That's why we failed terribly. But we always had to come back to the scriptures. When you read our history, when we came back to the scriptures, Most High was good with us. The nation was good. The nation we built. But without the scriptures, we never could come back. All right, this is the healing of the nation. Ganja is not the healing of the nation, no matter what the Rastas tell you. Okay, this is the healing of the nation, the scriptures. Okay, read.
Or an enchanter.
Or an enchanter. So now an enchanter is what? What's an enchanter? Right? Casting spells. Right, casting spells. Now that chanter, read on.
Or a witch.
Or a witch. Now I got to break that down for you. Read on.
Or a charmer.
Or a charmer. Right? Also dealing with potions. They say, yo, take this perfume, he'll love you for the rest of your life. Just take 2 spritz of this and bring a piece of his hair for me. Take care of you real quick. No. Right. Right. I guess that's, to call it dead spells, spirits, casting spells. All this is talking about the same industry. Right? The industry of dealing with devils and wickedness, right? We know?
Or a consulter with familiar spirits.
Or a consultant. So now, what is a familiar spirit? Talking to the dead, demons, the enchanters, all that's talking about the same stuff.
A medium.
All right? A medium. What else do they call them? A psychic. What was that person that be talking to, crossing over? They be talking to your pet. Yes, your dog died, but he's in a good place right now. Right? He said, don't regard these things, right? Yo. I remember Miss Cleo, calm me down.
Yeah.
Right? That's what the scripture. These scriptures, the Heavenly Father said, don't let this be found among you. Nobody supposed to be dealing with this. You see them palm reading spots by the swap shop or wherever you see them, don't even walk in front of them places. Those botanicas, y'all been seeing the botanicas, always look so dark in there. Don't go in there. You never see a botanica with the light shining in there. It don't look so dark. Can't see up in there with all them candles in the window. Don't walk in there. Okay. But they dealing with familiar spirits. Read on.
Or a wizard.
That's just a male witch.
Yeah.
Right? The woman is called a witch and the man is called a wizard. Okay. The KKK, what was the name of the leader of the KKK? What was he called?
Grand Wizard.
The Grand Wizard. Okay. Why was that? Because the KKK was dealing with high-level witchcraft. High-level witchcraft. They don't want to bring that out. That's why they wore those hoods. You read about the Celtics. They put masks on. They burned the bonfire. They got around the fire. You see where it's going? They try to get you in that, get that in your spirit on a low level. You join the Boy Scouts. Let's go burn a fire. Let's go out there in the hills and just light a fire and sit around the fire. Tell ghost stories, right? Right? Opening your mind up to that, what? Those demonic forces. From young, blood brothers, right? Cut your finger and your finger. What kind of madness are you dealing with? You didn't realize what mother put me in witchcraft. Like, look at the past, you realize, damn, mommy had me up in witchcraft. They cut my finger, we blood brothers. Right? That's all wickedness. Okay, that's not of the Father. Don't put your children in no Boy Scouts, man. Don't be no Eagle Scout. You want to learn to tie a knot? Look on YouTube. Right? Read on.
Or a necromancer.
Or a necromancer. What's that? A necromancer. Somebody look up that word for me. Nah, give me this. I want the definition. Somebody Google the word necromancer for me. I need that definition. Some words got to be defined. Somebody get that for me. Who got it for me? You're loud, leader, proud.
A person who practices necromancy, a wizard or a magician.
Right? A wizard or a magician. Anybody got anything else there?
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Warlock.
Warlock, yeah, give me all. Enchantress, give me all. Cultist, right?
Diviner.
The diviner, yeah. Whatever that is, right? We get the point, though. The point is somebody that's calling on spirits. The opium man, the voodoo doctor, you know what I mean? Dr. Buzzard, you know what I mean? What was that cartoon with that they had all that necromancy going on in there? With the with the Cajun, the black, damn, that was real popular. It was a movie cartoon movie.
Yeah.
The Princess and the
Frog.
And the Frog. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Black woman. Yeah, Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
That's necromancy.
Yeah.
Anybody seen that madness? They had all kind of demons and all kind of flying around in that movie. Right? Our children looking at it getting programmed. Talking about she want to open up a damn restaurant selling damn abominations and rice. Right? That's what she wanted to sell. That's what they call it. They call it what? Jambalaya or something like that? That's just abominations and rice. Gumbo or something? When they put all that shrimp and all that madness in it? Yeah. Abominations and rice. Right? Rice and seasoning to make anything taste good. Right? But still in all, they programming these things from young. Look, check this out right here. I gotta put it for the camera first. Right? It says the Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities. Right? What do you see in common of all the children on the front of this book here? I didn't say it. But I don't see the equality in here right here. I don't see no Chinese, no East Indian, right? I don't see no Jake here because even Esau knows that he's the devil at the bottom. He made this book. We didn't make this book. This is printed copy. Oh man, all rights reserved. 2015, the Satanic Temple. Okay, So they brought their own book out. So now you can do coloring and everything to the devil. All right? Brought you by the satanic www dot. Hold on, I gotta read it. www.thesatanictemple.org. That's the world we're living in right now.
The school in Florida actually has Republic curriculum.
They follow the curriculum in the school for her? I'm sure. I'm sure, and you saw it's packed up in there too. See, Jake do wickedness, but they don't ever really want to come out straight and say they dealing with the devil. Unless they get to a high level, unless they get really rich. When they get really rich, then they come out with it. They don't do that. All right, they'll start saying I'm dealing with the devil, but more or less amongst our people, we shy away from the thought of dealing with Satan, because in our spirit, without knowledge of the Most High, in our spirit, we believe in God. We believe in the Most High. We believe in the Creator of heaven and earth in our spirit. But then it gets tainted because we get taught wickedness. Okay, we get taught wickedness along the way, and especially when they sprinkle money with that wickedness. So a lot of people sign on to these evils. Okay, because what? There's some sort of financial gain. There's that candy like you get on Halloween. Give it to them, that temporary gain, right?
That is related to like the children of Israel having the zeal of God.
Having the what?
The zeal.
The zeal, right, exactly. But not according to knowledge, exactly. Right, Romans 10:1. Right. All right, so let's where we at now? Let's go on. He's in Deuteronomy, right?
I say
8 and 19. Okay. Yeah, read 20. We'll read 19 again. Read right into 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 19. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits,
right,
and unto wizards
right,
that peep and that mutter.
That peep and mutter. You know, they mumble. And they talking, they going in, they say they're going into a trance. And they start that, it's kind of like that rap nowadays. It's very demonic when they kind of mumbling and you can't really understand what they're saying. All right, that right there is demonic, man. All right, speak clear. Most are dealing with clear and concise speech. Okay, if you mumbling, people can't hear, understand. You're trying to make people confused, right? You're trying to make people confused. You mumbling on purpose. I don't think they mumbling by accident, right? You talk to them off that they speaking clear. They start the beat, and next thing you know, they mumbling all over the beat. Why? Because that's enchantments. Just like the sorcerers did. They mumbled and they said something over and over again, and they conjuring up spirits and whatever the case may be. Okay, it all rooted right there. Right? You're seeing it manifest in different ways, but it's rooted in satanic devil worship. Okay. Read.
Should not a people seek?
Right? Should not a people seek? Meaning that we shouldn't be looking for these people. Read on.
Unto their power, for the living to the dead.
Right? Should not a people seek after their power from the living to the dead. Meaning that it don't matter if you're alive or you in the grave. There's only one power in your house. All right? The scriptures tell us that the saints, they cry unto the Most High from the grave. They praise the Most High even though they 6 feet deep. Because everybody is to praise Yahweh. No one is to be given over to these demons and these devils. All right? Read on.
Verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word.
Right, to the law and the testimony. If somebody's speaking and they're not speaking of this law and this testimony, read on.
It is because there is no light in them.
They deal with darkness and wickedness. Read on.
And they shall pass through it, hardly the stead and hungry.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their power and look upward.
Right. So this is going into the fact that the wicked, sooner or later, going to have to change from their ways. Okay. Sooner or later. Give me let's drop that Isaiah and let's get 2 Kings. 2 Kings, the 21st chapter. First start with verse 1, and then we're going to jump down. Yeah, it's all verse 1. This is read verse 1.
21:1.
Yeah.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 21, verse 1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hezbollah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High.
So Manasseh's reigning, and he did what was evil in the sight of the Most High. Let's see what he did. Read on.
After the abominations of the heathen,
Right?
whom the Most High cast out before the children of Israel.
Right. So he was going after what? What the heathens was doing. What does the word heathen mean? I'm going to read the definition of the word heathen real quick, just so people don't think we coming up with our own definition. All right, so this is from the Zandervan Bible Dictionary. This truth is recorded and it's written. It says heathen, usually used for a non-Israelitish people, and thus has the meaning of Gentile. Okay, the different, that word. The difference between, I say difference, but the differentiation between Israelites and Gentiles was more sharply accentuated in the New Testament times than in the Old Testament times. The reason for this beginning chiefly that the Jews were suffered so much from the Gentiles' hands. So the Jews suffered so much from the Gentiles' hands that line had to be drawn between the Gentiles and the Jews. Okay, because in the Old Testament we had our kingdom, they had their kingdom at certain points in times. We came up. Sometimes we put the heathen to flight. In the time of David, and time we was busting those heathens up. But then in the New Testament, we constantly getting our butt whipped by the heathen, because that's when the curses is coming down on the New Testament. So that's why in the time of Christ, who was running Jerusalem? The Romans, right? Herod, the Romans, Pontius Pilate, right? These were all Romans. These were Edomites. Okay, so we didn't have any power. And by the time New Testament came around, we didn't have any power left. But the last time we built the temple before that was in the time of Zechariah. And then that was it. It was downhill from there. The Greeks came into power. Greece came into power at 333 BC. I believe it is. Double check that date before I say something. I think it's 333 BC. The Greeks came into power, and they ain't looked back since. Right? Yeah, I think it's 333 BC when Antiochus, when Alexander the Great came into power, and then later Antiochus took over. Okay, so we don't.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 21, and verse 2. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Most High cast out before the children of Israel. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed.
Right.
And he reared up altars for Baal and made a grove, as did Ahab, king of Israel.
Right, but Ahab was going off, and now Manasseh's going off. Hezekiah was in the spirit. He knocked all these things down. He got rid of them. So that shows you that we're not supposed to mesh with these demons. We're supposed to get rid of them from our surroundings. Okay. If you have a household and you gotta get these stuff out your house. Okay. Read on.
And worship all the hosts of heaven,
right,
and serve them.
Mm-hmm.
And he built altars in the house of the Most High, of which the Most High said, in Jerusalem will I put my name.
Right?
And he built altars for all the hosts of heaven and the two courts of the house of the Most High.
Right, so what he trying to do? He built altars for all the hosts of heaven. So what did he do? What is he doing here? Somebody explain that to me. He built altars for all the hosts of heaven. Should there be altars for all the hosts of heaven? No. Who's the altar supposed to be built to? Most High Yahweh only. One altar to the Most High Yahweh in Jerusalem, where the Father said put it. But he was going around in his area and building all altars for all the hosts of heaven. Sun, moon, angels, this, that, going into what they call polytheism, the belief in multiple gods, right? Like Hinduism, right? They believe in all these gods, right? The Egyptians, they believed in multiple gods. God for the water, God for the sun, God for this. So that's what he was doing. Building gods and altars for all the hosts of heaven. They see a star, the North Star. That's the North Star God. Right? They start worshiping everything. All right, read on.
Verse 6. And he made his son pass through the fire and observed times and used enchantments.
Everything that we just read not to do, he was on the ball with it. And he was a king, so the people was following him. Now, mind you, understand that this is the king of the northern tribes. I'm not trying to get tribal, but it's want to be clear historically that this is not of all Israel, but this is of the northern tribes following this thing, right? Read on.
And dealt with familiar spirits and wizards.
Come on.
He wrought much wickedness in the sight of the Most High to provoke him to anger.
Right.
And he set a graven image of the grove that he had made in the house, of which the Most High said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all tribes of Israel, will I put my name forever.
Come on.
Neither will I make the feet of Israel move any more out of the land which I gave their fathers.
Right.
Only if they will observe to do according to all that I have commanded them, and according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them.
Right. That's what we were supposed to do. We be blessed in our land right now. We would still be in Israel if we would have kept the commandments. But we broke them. We broke our part of the bargain. Read on.
Verse 9. But they hearkened not, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than they did the nations whom the Most High destroyed before the children of Israel.
So Israel became more wicked than the wicked. We did more evil than the nation that he destroyed in front of us. We multiplied the offenses. Okay, why? Because we're setting up groves, believing in idols, multiple gods. Today, the Halloweens, the Thanksgivings, the Christmases, that's evil multiplying in the earth. Because all those things is not of Yahweh. Okay? It's not Yahweh. You can't interject him in there. You try to make altars to everybody. Okay, that's Yahweh's altar, and that's Balaam, and that's Baal, and that's Asherah. There's all the demons. And the Most High altar too. No, you can't do that. The Father says, you with me or you with them, man? You in the light or the darkness? Can you be in the light and the darkness at the same time? You can't do it. If we can turn the lights off, we'll all be in the what? In the darkness. Turn the lights on, we all in the light. There's no way to be in both at the same time. You're only fooling yourself. Okay? But I'm spiritual, but I'm going to go up in this darkness and just be spiritual up in there. No, you're not. The only time you be spiritual in the darkness is when you didn't choose to be in the dark. And circumstances put you in the darkness, but you holding your spirit down. You ain't gonna get whatever is going on around you. But you can't choose to go into wickedness and then once being in there think you're gonna be spiritual. That's why the scripture, we say all the time, we say the Lord's Prayer. We say, and lead us not into temptation and what? It's simple. If you go into the temptation, you're going to succumb to the evil. You're going to succumb to the evil. That's why we want to be delivered from the temptation, so we don't go nowhere near the evil. We stay clear of that place. All right, scriptures say, flee from sin as I flee from the mouth of a serpent, from a snake's mouth. Right? Get out of there. Right? If you know sin is that way, get out of there. Everybody understand that? All right, come. So we're gonna keep rolling.
Verse 10.
Matter of fact, drop that. Give me 1 Timothy 4:1. Show you. So he was seducing the people with his wickedness, with his evils, the king Manasseh. And that's what happens. They seduce us. They enchant us. What does a woman use to seduce a man? Her body, right? The things that what? He might want. Right? So she uses the things. She don't use the things he don't want. Right? You can't seduce a man by, complaining. Right? Nobody's going to get seduced by that. They're going to run away from you. But you seduce a man with the things that a man would want. Right? You use that. So the same thing, Satan does the same thing. Okay? You might want to be around family. So what? Family going to get around, they're going to get together when? On all these wicked holidays. So you can be what? Seduced. Right? If nothing was going on, then why would you even be, it wouldn't bother you at all. But no, this is going to be the one time of the year that Grandpapa comes to the town. And you know he got a few more years. So I know you'll come see your grandpa. You ain't going to be over there with that. He rolls you. He change your pampers. Huh? You ain't going to be over there with that. Those angry men with them beards and those boots. Talking about they Jewish or whatever they call it, Muslim or something. They like to call us Muslim. They like to throw that Muslim at us, don't they? I'll tell you that's a slick way of cursing you out.
Yeah.
The way you Muslim or something. You know you ain't no Muslim. How many Muslims do you know? 2018, man, you barely see a Muslim walking down the street. Unless he just got out. All right, come on. Nobody falling for that Muslim thing anymore. Yeah, there are a couple dudes that be still final calling on the corner over there. But you can just tell they just got out. They say, how long you been out, brother? How long you been out? All right? You ain't nobody falling for that nonsense. There's no breakdown. There's no breakdown. There's no understanding to bring you to be a Muslim. So what they do is they got to catch you when you down and out, when you in a pen or you jacked up. So they come and whisper that stuff in your ear and it sounds better than what you're doing. You ain't doing nothing, so you might go with it. But you got some sense and there's no understanding, there's no history, there's no documentation, there's nothing to show you that you a Muslim. You're not going to ride with that for too long. That's why it fades away. Right? It fades away. Right? The one time we was coming up in this truth, man, there was a lot of Muslims and 5%ers and all this. We had to be battling on the streets with all them jokers. Now you can't find them. Right? You can't find them now. They don't got a job. They got old, got fat, got gray. They ain't got time with that mathematics anymore. That stuff was confusing. They just trying to go to work, go home, rest in peace, watch the game. Right? They don't got time with that mathematics anymore. When they had that young, they had that energy. It was bugged out their mind. It was high on that weed or whatever they were smoking. Then it made sense. Okay. What I call? Oh, little rants. All right, let's get back to where we at.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits.
What kind of spirits?
Seducing spirits.
There goes that seduction again. There goes that spirit again. Seducing you for what you want. Maybe it's a good job. A lot of people, they go to college, right? They get one of the fraternities and sororities. Because what's the promise? What's the promise? That when they get out, one of your sisters or your brothers is going to be in position to do something for you. Get you in the corporate door. Make you some more money. You won't have to work your way out from the mail room. You can jump in there in the executive table. Yeah. Because you pledging this and that, and you stepping and putting up all them hand symbols. And they got you doing all kinds of demonic stuff. You know, you stomping and putting up all kind of damn wicked, damn demonic hand signals. What do you do? What do you do? Right? But they get you in them schools why they seduce you. Right? They seduce you with the beat of the drum. Right? That's all enchantments. All right? Music is a very enchanting force. That's why you gotta be careful what you listening to musically. All right, because that's a hypnotic force. If you know about hypnotism, it's repetitive sound of motion, right? Right? Y'all all saw that movie, right? Get Out, right? When she sat there, she just spinning the cup, and that constant sound of that thing spinning, right? That's how that music is. It's very hypnotic, and it's planting thoughts in your head. If you listen to it a lot, you're gonna become the demon that you're listening to. And what they be pushing? What? Fornication. All matter of fornication. Adultery, right? Lasciviousness, right? Right? Mm-hmm. This is what they do. And when they're not doing it, when they're not playing with each other's junk, they there. Bunch of clowns, man. What are you stopping about? What are you stopping for, Greek? And these sororities and fraternities, then they try to tell you, this black sorority or black fraternity. They try to make it black now. Like you painting it black, make it any better. You take the white sin and paint it black. Does it change what it is? It's still wickedness. Okay? Don't get fooled. They have the black Santa Claus, right? Look like James Brown, he be dancing. Right? It's still that same wicked Santa Claus. You ain't fooling nobody.
I don't celebrate Christmas, I celebrate
Kwanzaa, right? You take the Lord's menorah, representing the 7 angels that stand before the Most High, or the 7 churches through Asia Minor, don't even know what they represent. I made Kwanzaa out of it. Talking about loyalty, honesty. Come on, man, give me a break. This is just wickedness painted another color. Okay, that's all it is. Don't fall for an Afrocentric stuff and because they say it's black, or you're not black anymore. When you come to this truth, you give in your black card. Right? You are now Hebrew Israelites. You no longer associate yourself with a color. All right? You associate yourself with your lineage, who your forefathers are, and who your God is. That's your association now. It ain't about black or all these things that was taught to us. Okay? They use that to fool us. All right? They have the supposed to be a black Messiah with the dreads and the abs. What did you read in scriptures? And yeah, he had abs and dreadlocks. You don't read that in the scripture. You read that he was a Hebrew that stood strong for his people. All right? That he was a head and shoulders above the people. That he was an austere man. He didn't play around. He didn't joke around. Right? He kept it real. He told people what it was. And if they didn't like it, tough. You know what I mean? He wasn't changing his mouth for nobody. Right? That's why they didn't love Christ when he was on the earth. They hated him. Those that didn't want him hated him. And those that wanted to serve God loved him. Okay? The line was clear when he was here. Okay, the line was clear when he was here, when he walked this earth. Okay? Where we at?
First Timothy.
Come, read that. Read on. Seducing spirits, read on.
And doctrines of devils.
And doctrines of devils, breakdowns of devils. What's a doctrine of the devil? Halloween is a doctrine of the devil. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Old Year's, the winter solstice, the Celtic Druids. These are all doctrines of devils, right? Easter, doctrines of devils, man. We got to stay away from all these things, huh? Read on in the history. Give me some more of this history.
Okay. To commemorate the event Druids built huge sacred bonfires where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities.
Uh-huh.
During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes, typically consisting of animal heads and skins, and attempted to tell each other's fortunes.
Read.
When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening from the sacred bonfire to help protect them during the coming winter.
Read. No, jump down to 5:43 AD.
By 43 AD, the Roman Empire had conquered the majority of Celtic territory.
Uh-huh.
In the course of the 400 years that they ruled the Celtic lands, two festivals of Roman origin were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain.
Right.
The first was Feralia, a day in late October when the Romans was a day to honor Ponoma, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees.
Uh-huh.
The symbol of Pomonoa is the apple, and the incorporation of this celebration into Samhain probably explains the tradition of bobbing for apples that is practiced today on Halloween.
Right. So now you don't even realize that bobbing for apples is a demonic worship to some goddess of fruit and trees, right? Called Pranoma. Right? So see how many things that you see done in this kingdom is rooted in demonic worship. So the only safe place is these scriptures. Everybody understand that? If it ain't in the scriptures, man, leave it alone. Because you don't know. You might be getting involved in some real heavy demonic worship of some high-level wickedness. Okay, we don't.
On May 13, 609 AD, Pope Boniface VI dedicated the Pantheon in Rome in honor of all Christian martyrs, and the Catholic feast of All Martyrs' Day was established in the Western Church. Pope Gregory III later expanded the festival to include all saints as well as all martyrs, and moved the observance from May 13th to November 1st.
Right, read.
By the 9th century, the influence of Christianity had spread into Celtic lands, where it gradually blended with the older Celtic rites. In 1000 AD, the church would make November 2nd, All Souls Day, a day to honor the dead. It's widely believed today that the church was attempting to replace the Celtic festival with all the dead with a related church-sanctioned holiday. All Souls Day was celebrated similarly to Samhain with big bonfires, parades, and dressing up in costumes as saints, angels, and devils. The All Saints Day celebration was also called All Hallows or All Hallow Mass, from Middle English All Hallowees, meaning All Saints Day, and the night before it, the traditional night of Samhain in the Celtic religion, began to be called All Hallows Eve and eventually Halloween.
All right, so this is where you get Halloween. That's where it comes from. Right, so from the Druid priests and the Celtics worshiping the dead and demons and wearing costumes and skins and burning animals and all kinds of stuff that we don't deal with. Okay, so we now know what it's about. So now that you know and you're clear on what Halloween is about, we know that we're not to deal with these wicked festivals. Okay, they're not for our people. They're not for us to get involved in. Okay. Now give me 2 Kings 23. And let's see how we flipped it. Because now after Manasseh took us into all kind of wickedness, we're going to come upon another king. See where's the best place to start. Start with 16, 23:16.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 23 and verse 16.
All right.
And as Josiah turned himself, he spied the scepters that were there in the mount, and sent and took the bones out of the scepters and burned them upon the altar and polluted it, according to the word of the Most High, which the man of the Most High proclaimed, who proclaimed these words. Then he said, what title is that I see? And the men of the city told him, it is the scepter of the man of the Most High, which came from Judah, and proclaimed these things that thou hast done against the altar of Bethel. And he said, let him alone. Let no man move his bones. So they let his bones alone with the bones of the prophet that came out of Samaria.
You know?
And all the houses also of the high places that were in the cities of Samaria, which the kings of Israel had made to provoke the Most High to anger, Josiah took away and did to them according to all the acts that he had done in Bethel.
Right. So what? Josiah came and took away all these groves and all these fake altars onto these idols. Read on.
Verse 20. And he slew all the priests of the high places.
And all the priests that was following after these customs, what did he do? He killed them. Read on.
That were there upon the altars, and burned men's bones upon them, and returned to Jerusalem.
Read.
And the king commanded all the people, saying, keep the Passover.
Do what?
Keep the Passover.
So now this is a righteous king coming into play. Which told everyone, keep the Passover. Read on.
Unto the Most High your power, as it is written in the book of this covenant.
Read.
Surely there was not holding such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel, nor of the kings of Judah. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein this Passover was holden to the Most High in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers with familiar spirits, and the wizards, and the images, and the idols, and all the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Most High.
Right.
And like unto him was there no king before him that turned to the Most High with all his heart.
With what?
With all his heart.
And this is what the Father wants us to do. Put away all demonic works and turn to the Father with all your heart. All right, put away these festivals. Don't be seduced. Don't be enchanted. Put them away. They're not for our people. They're not the laws of the Most High. Just like the King Josiah, the righteous King Josiah did, that's the same way we're supposed to do. Huh? And put it away. Cast it down. All right, cast it down before your face, before everybody's face. Say, no, I'm not dealing with that. Thus saith the Most High. All right, read.
And with all his soul and with all his might, according to the law of Moses.
Right.
Neither after him arose there any like him.
Right. Nobody arose like him. So Josiah came and he cleaned house onto the word of the Most High. Yeah. Putting away all those demonic idols through that. So that's what we got to model ourselves after. All right. We got to turn after the Most High. Give me Leviticus, I think I called it before, 20:6. I don't think you read it. Let's get Leviticus 20:6.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 6. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people.
Right, so what? That's just another law letting us know that the punishment of dealing with any of this kind of enchantment, any of this kind of Celtic pride is Halloween, is costume, masquerade, whether it be now or later on, is not of the Most High Yah. All right, we have no festival, we have no feast that we come here in mass and cover our faces. And there's a reason for that, because that's not of the Most High Yah. Right? All right, so I pretty much will take any questions concerning topic or any topic that we may have covered, or any misunderstanding, any clarity or none at all. Before our topic. All right, so now we understand what familiar spirits are. So what's familiar spirits? They're what? What is it? No, familiar spirits is someone that speaks to the spiritual world, who tries to contact the spiritual world. That person deals with familiar spirits, meaning that they're calling on a spirit. They're not calling on the Most High, they're calling on some spirit. All right, that's a familiar spirit. Right, they're calling on for some ancestor. Right, they're calling for somebody that may have passed away. That's what you're dealing with familiar spirits. Okay. So that's what familiar is. What's a necromancer? What's that? Say again, sis? Enchanter? Somebody that casts spells, right. That's a necromancer. So we understand these things. And we understand these are not of the Most High Yah. He doesn't want us to deal with them. You know, we Hebrews, we can't be on both sides of the fence. You got to choose. Right? To say, choose you this day whom you will serve. Okay? Matter of fact, let's finish it with that. Give me Joshua 15, verse 24. Chapter 15, verse 24. Oh, 24, 15, sorry. Only 24, 15. Sorry. 24, 15. 24, 15. Set it back.
Okay.
The book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Most High,
Right,
choose you this day whom ye will serve.
right.
Whether the powers which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the powers of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell.
Right.
But as for me and my house,
Right.
we will serve the Most High.
That's right. So that's the scripture. You put it on your door for the trick-or-treaters to read. When they come with their candy and their mask and they go, as for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Shalom. Okay. And they move on to the next house. And they leave your house alone. Now, they won't knock on your door. Okay, that's how you deal with them jokes. Okay, we're not falling for that. We're not falling for it this year. All praises be to the power of Amos and the prophet Israel. We shall rise and face Jerusalem. Amadim will put out Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. We shall send up closing prayer. Do remember, don't forget, tomorrow Shabbat service at noon, right here. How does it go? Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
Bahashem.
Yahushua.
Rakatha Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Talanawa.
Talanawa.
Hashabbat.
Shabbat.
Bashalom.
Shalom.
Babakashah.
Barushah.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Zapaliah.
Zachariah.
Babakashah.
Barushah.
Shemai.
Shemai.
Ha.
Ha.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Zapalah.
Zachariah.
Abiyanawa.
Abiyanawa.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Yakadasha.
Yakadasha.
Yahaya.
Yahaya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ah.
Ba'ah.
Mokavka.
Mokaka.
Yaisha.
Yaisha.
What is a one cup?
Baruchah.
Ka.
Ka.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Khan.
Kan.
Barataza.
Baruchah.
Lathaf.
Latham.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Lacham.
Lacham.
Kol.
Kol.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak Lanawa.
Salak now.
Hababat Yanawa.
Hawa'ah now.
Bawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Salak Nawa.
Salak now.
Gam.
Gam.
Akayabyam.
Akayabim.
Shalanawa.
Shalom.
Wa.
Wa.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Kabiyanawa.
Lagaynawa.
Aw.
Aw.
Nasa.
Nasa.
Akab.
Aka.
Lahataziyo.
Lahataziyo.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Man.
Man.
Harai.
Harai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Lakab.
Laka.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Ha.
Ha.
Mamokaf.
Mamoka.
Ha.
Ha.
Kak.
Ha.
Wa.
Ra.
Ha.
Ha.
Kabawad.
Kabawad.
La'ailam.
Ailam.
Bahashem.
Bahashem.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yamushai.
Yahushua.
Tawada.
Kawada.
Tobyad.
Yad.
Amen.
Amen. Lord's Prayer English, Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. But Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, the water of Yad. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Get most of that. All right, well, everybody coming out, please do remember, don't forget to feed the box on the way out, because, you know, charity covers a multitude of sins. All right, so make sure that you bring forth your charity, keep these doors open, keep bringing these scriptures out. All those online, you know, saying if you hit them, you get into tornado right now. You know, be LOZ,